Hi, it's Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton, and today we are going to be making beef stroganoff, a simple quick dish out of my food storage. Hot pan, cold oil, and here I have some water, some salted water on to boil in my pasta pot. And we're just going to be breaking up some of my food storage gluten-free fettuccine. Let's make sure you can see that. See, I have gluten-free fettuccine here, okay? I'm going to keep this dish gluten-free because I have to be gluten-free. All right? I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Not a lot. This dish doesn't call for a lot. And you can use other oils, but I like olive oil. And we're just going to kind of glaze the bottom of the pan here just a little bit. And at this stage, this is when you want to add your onions or your garlic. And I'm also going to add a half of a tablespoon of real unsalted butter. Again, that's a half a tablespoon of real unsalted butter. And I'm going to set this other half here aside. That's going to go in when I put in my mushrooms. Okay, there we go. I'm going to make sure here in a minute that you can see this. Turn that heat down just a little bit. Especially with a glass top, you have to really keep your heat adjusted. Now, just put in that half a tablespoon of butter, and we're just going to kind of sweeten up these onions just a little bit. They are a red onion. Kind of get them kind of transparent. We're just going to use this Great Value can of roast beef. The time was up on it in December of 2014, so I need to use this one up. Stay on the shelf longer than the actual due date, but remember, there's no emergency right now, so we do want to rotate our canned goods. We do want to rotate our emergency food supply. We're going to keep the gravy in here, by the way. There we go. And here's a piece of fat. You can leave that in there. They put that in there usually for, they usually put a little piece of fat in there for flavor, but I'm taking it out. Now, because there's so much salt here in the beef, we're really not going to need to salt this much. Pepper, yes. Salt, very little. And you can add whatever vegetables or whatever you like to this. If you want to add some carrots or peas or broccoli or whatever, you can do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add mushroom. And that other half a piece of butter, half tablespoon of butter. Now you can add a little bit of flour to this if you'd like, and make it a little bit of a thickener if you're making a beef stew or something, and just add the flour now and make it like a roux. Toss this until there's no white left on the mushrooms, and then just like you'd do if you were doing it for cream of mushroom soup. And then you'd add your creamery or milk at that point, or your broth. In fact, I'll do it just to show you. This is a gluten-free flour right here. I'll just sprinkle that on just a little bit, just to show you. And what you do is you toss your mushrooms and your onions and your garlic and your butter in that little bit of flour, and you'd cook that, especially if this was fresh mushrooms, you'd cook that until you had most, and you can add salt. If this is fresh mushrooms, you'd put a little salt on here actually, just to help bring the moisture out of the mushrooms. But that's not necessary right now. We want to keep the mushrooms nice and tender because this is for beef stroganoff. Okay, and I just wanted to show you how that worked, okay? And right now, this right here would be a good stage to add your liquids for thickening. This keeps things from getting clumpy. I just wanted to show you that step if you're ever making gravy or a roux or something and you've been asked to do that, that's how you do that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and while we're stirring, and I'm going to use a whisk for this since I put the flour in, and I'm going to add this beef broth from our can. A couple minutes now in, that's fine. There you go. Add a little cream to this right now, and you would have yourself, and some pepper, and you would have yourself some cream of mushroom soup at this stage right here. Yep, right here. A little half and half, a little pepper, maybe a little a little nutmeg or something, a pinch of nutmeg or something, and you'd have cream of mushroom soup. And that's it. That's how fast it takes to make cream of mushroom soup instead of making it like this, okay? You don't have to use this. You can make it just like this right here. And with me, besides just a half and half, I have to add the lactose-free milk in with it because I have to make everything, even my sour cream, lactose-free. So I just add a little lactose-free milk, a couple tablespoons in, and that helps me to digest milk products. Didn't know if you knew that or not, but if you just add your lactose-free whole milk or a 2% milk in with any other milk or milk product, it does help you to digest, it. Okay, so here we go. Let me turn that up just a little bit. Starting to thicken now just a little bit. Go back in there, my friend. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the cream of mushroom soup. Like I said, you can bypass this stage and you can just make your own cream of mushroom soup by adding the cream in here. But I needed to use this up. It was in my food storage. Me going in here. This gets creamy as it heats up. There we go. So I chose to use my food storage cream of mushroom soup today. Now, I still have to make this lactose free because there is milk byproducts in the canned soup. So, I'm going to add a little bit of my lactose free milk. And I need to thin it down a little bit anyway. There we go. Now I have a lactose free. I guess this is as gluten free as it's going to get today. So, just watch what soups you put in. Now you make a gluten free cream of mushroom soup now, I believe. So, again, I'm saying this, I'm just trying to get rid of my food storage because I'm trying to circulate my food in my cabinets. Okay, so see, you got a nice, creamy thing. Alright, so I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cream cheese. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cream cheese and 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Just going to blend that in, kind of break that up a little bit, that cream cheese up with our whisk. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our beef. See, not a lot of beef came in that can. Did you see how little that was? That was mostly juice. By weight, that was mostly juice. That was very disappointing. You'd need 2 cans of this, really. But my other cans are not until 2017 and beyond, so I'm going to keep those in food storage. But that's a little disappointing. You can go to My Man Cave or My Cave emergency food storage. I think it's called My Cave. And they have a large 28-ounce can of beef. That's pretty good. Graybrill, Indiana has some canned chicken, beef, and pork that's really good. I've been buying for them since probably 1980s. Okay, there we go. Now it's starting to thicken a little bit here. Let's see what we need to add to this. Add some fresh cracked black pepper. I said we're going to add much salt, but I'm just going to add just a little bit. A little bit of my sea salt. I don't think it really needs any other spices besides that right there. It's nice and creamy. Now, my water's boiling for my pasta. I'm going to go ahead and break up my pasta into little 1/2 to 1 inch pieces. You use whatever pasta you like in here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this on very, very low. And I'm going to give this a taste test. You can add peas to this for a vegetable. That would be good. That's good. Remember, a good chef will have multiple spoons. That needs something. That needs some more salt. Believe it or not, that needed some more salt. I'm not usually a salter type person, but and I think it needs a little more pepper. And you know what else I think it needs? I'm going to put in a little bit of my beef base and my ham base in here. Just a little bit. I just thought it needed some depth. There we go. And this is just a little bit of Orrington Farms organic beef broth base. And this is the ham base actually. I'm going to add the beef base as well. About a tablespoon of each. Give that a stir. Turn my heat off because that's, look at that, I got some nice dew on that. That's what my grandma would say, you got a nice dew on that. Okay, now let's give that another try with another clean spoon. Remember, you never want to double dip. Okay, yeah, that ham base was enough. I don't think I'm going to have to add the beef base to that. Now that right there did it. Okay, so our sauce itself is done. Cover that up, turn the heat off, and we're going to go ahead and cook that gluten-free pasta. This only gets cooked for about 5 to 6 minutes. That's why I went ahead and made the sauce first. And I'm on a glass top stove, so it will continue to heat this. See, keep it warm, even though the stove's on off. Again, I'm just going to break this pasta into about 1-inch pieces here. And I did salt the water a little bit with some sea salt. And if you're using regular pasta, then you don't have to use as much unless you're using a gluten-free pasta. Gluten-free pasta, it doesn't swell like regular pasta does. And gluten-free pasta does not have to be cooked as long. So I'm just going to barely done before I add it to the pot over here. Really good with homemade French bread with a little bit of olive oil toasted in the oven. Delish. We'll go ahead and add some peas to this for our vegetable for the night. And lots of peas. I love the peas. So does my husband. That's our favorite vegetable. So they'll cook in here while this is just sitting on the glass top here with it off. They'll cook up nicely. So you can add those in last. That's fine. A couple broccoli heads. That's fine too. There we go. Slip that lid back on. Isn't that beautiful? Just a quick Stroganoff recipe. You can't not top this recipe for the speed of it. Like I said, healthy-wise, I don't normally like using the Campbell's canned soups, but I had some in the stories that need to be eaten up, and I'm not gonna, waste not, want not. So that's certainly not the idea behind food storage, is wasting food. So, all right, we'll be back in a minute when our pasta is ready. Caught it because I am that fast. I already lost the camera once doing that. Okay, our pasta is ready. It's not quite cooked to al dente, which will be perfect for this. We're just going to go ahead and dump that right here, right into. Get it all out here. We want it all. Like I said, gluten-free noodles do not swell up like regular flour noodles do, so always expect to make more of those. And then we're just going to toss that in. Just like that. And this is good over mashed potatoes. Onion, sour cream, and chive mashed potatoes would be really good with this. That looked good. Got nice beef pieces in here. Now, like I said, I was disappointed in that can of beef. There certainly wasn't very much beef in there. Here you can see it a little better. I'm sorry if you couldn't see it a minute ago. And there it is. Just a quick version of my gluten-free. Well, it was gluten-free until I added the Campbell's soup. Apparently that has a little bit of a wheat product or possible wheat product in it. So be sure and do a gluten-free soup. But this is just an easy way to make a beef stroganoff with mushrooms. It's a very tasty, creamy sauce. And now I'm going to serve this up. And also in the oven, I have my husband's favorite. I got some crescent rolls. So that'll be nice and tasty with some fresh real butter. That sauce, it's so creamy smooth. I can't even begin to tell you. Okay, I made just a little bit of instant mashed potatoes with some lactose-free milk, water, a little bit of real unsalted butter. You can use salted for that, that's fine. I didn't put that much in. And a little bit of chives, and we've got a little bit of mashed potatoes here. And again, this is from the food stores. Here I just have a couple of crescent rolls, hubby likes too. And you can serve these, by the way, with some homemade strawberry jam, some homemade carrot cake jam, or even some pumpkin butter. This is really good stuff right here. All these recipes, by the way, are on my channel. And we're just going to scoop up some of this delicious beef stroganoff for my husband. Okay, hubby, come on, we're going to give this a try. First, you got to try it with a little bit of mashed potatoes, little peas, and some of that beef. Tell me how that beef tastes in there.
It's very creamy. The noodles are very good. Like
that is good.
Peas.
That is good. I like that. I like the mushrooms in this one. Fresh mushrooms would be better, but for canned storage, I mean, really you couldn't tell the difference, could you?
It's very good.
Everything here came out of our storage.
Good.
Everything, including the mashed potatoes. And with the sour cream and a little bit of the, I put lactose-free milk in this, so it's lactose-free. And then, there you go, try another bite.
Very good. Very creamy and fluffy.
Oh, I lost a little thingy there. So anyway, you heard it from my husband. He thought that this tasted really good and creamy, and
thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you.
So give this recipe a try. This is chef and builder Janie Pendleton. Beef stroganoff with instant mashed potatoes.